ideal approach to try to beat the social networking model is do I need to actually put a blog out on my webpage to start blogging, information about my company? Is it better for me to use a Facebook architecture because I can get that social media kind of gathering point process going? If you had to flip a coin, would it be publish your own blog or just publish on Facebook? Somebody just asked you that question straight up. Because I get that question a lot from people. Should I spend the time to put my own blog up? Should I just go ahead and dive into the Facebook pool and go ahead and put all my information about my company? Because there's basically corporate pages on Facebook. You don't have to fall into the personal.
Right, yeah, you can do the same thing on LinkedIn.
Exactly. And I use LinkedIn pretty much extensively. And I prefer that platform for business. But Facebook has a much bigger reach than LinkedIn. And if you figure out your landing page or your profile page for a business, you can actually do some pretty good damage there. So what's your kind of basic feedback on that?
I would add something to that to say, let's talk about a website, a blog, or Facebook. Okay. If I'm a small business person, should I put up a website or should I put up a blog? I'd go for a blog every time. Blog because it's CMS, which means I don't have to know anything about HTML or all the rest of that stuff. I can just kind of jump right in there and fool around with things. With my own hands. Content management system is what CMS means.
We're big fans of that.
WordPress is free. Sounds like the price is right. And am I going to want to change this thing? I mean, when I first started out, 25, 26 years ago, I mean, I don't think I ever went to a conference with the same brochures. It just threw that one away. You learn something, you do another one. So the great thing about blogs is that you can just jump in there and you can be talking to your people today, now. So so I'm up for blogs and not websites. Websites, I can't change them; they're unfriendly. Website guys don't do two things well. They don't. They're not graphic artists, so most of the time the website stinks, and they're not marketing people. So the content is terrible. As far as Facebook goes, I'd be up for a Facebook fan page or a business page on Facebook if my ideal prospects were there. Let's say I have a t-shirt company, or I sell, gym shoes. That might be a great thing for Facebook, but let's say, I'm an attorney. Are people going to be looking for an attorney on Facebook? I'm not so sure. That to me is something, that personal, it's kind of like looking for a dentist. You talk to the person you work with, you talk to your next door neighbor, hey, who was your attorney? Or hey, who do you use as an accountant? That's the way that business usually transfers. So.
What would your overall impression be of LinkedIn as it's now added a number of different features to its basic set of deliverables? If you've looked at LinkedIn recently, they now have added, they've got news streams and RSS. Got the ability to have streams.
What's all that new money they got pumped in there, right?
Exactly. So do you think that they're going down the Me Too route, or are they actually trying to differentiate themselves in the
I think they're trying to differentiate themselves. I like LinkedIn a lot. The thing that I notice is people don't use LinkedIn, they don't use search terms. In other words, you talk about your work experience, but you may not use current words that people use. For perhaps a position that you had 5 or 10 years ago, or perhaps a service that you're selling. And so you really need a pretty long, extensive, blow-by-blow biography on LinkedIn. And then people can find you when they type in those search terms.
I think the biggest thing about LinkedIn is you absolutely have to be on it because, let's say I have 3 attorneys I'm going to, 3 friends have referred 3 attorneys to me. You better believe I'm going to go check every single one of those attorneys on LinkedIn because I want to know who they know, who I know that knows them. Yeah. So
I've been on it for a long time. I don't know, 6, 8 years. It's been a long time. The thing that I have noticed in probably the last 2 years are there are people that just jump on, create an account, and then want to spam everybody.
Right.
It's the same thing with the guy that comes to the networking event and feels like he's got to shake every hand and give everybody a business card, Just show that person the back door, That's what's changed about LinkedIn is that's gotten a little bit unnerving at times. I just report people. I say, this is your 3rd email this week.
Right.
I'm going to, and I report them you know, and they get pulled out of the group, which is fine with me.
What I find interesting about LinkedIn, if you actually do the diving on a person's profile, look at some of the connections that they have, you know, if they're presenting to you a, you know, proposal or some type of a program, you kind of look at some of the history of the other companies that they're working with and get a flavor of kind of where they're coming from and what they're offering. So I find it's really good for deep research in that respect.
Well, it is, and it's also good for that warm lead thing, you know? You don't know the person, but you know somebody who knows the person. And so you can, you know, kind of get a warm introduction.
Well, one of the things I've been using LinkedIn for is instead of asking for recommendation, which I always felt was really stressful, you know, if you and I know each other, I say, would you please, for an introduction, you know, would you introduce
Yeah.
me? What I do is I'll type in somebody's name, find out everybody that we both know. I'll send all of those people an email and say, do you mind if I let John know you know me?
That's the way I always do it.
And that way people don't feel like they're giving a recommendation. Then when I
Right.
email John, hey John, we know these people in common. By the way, I'd like to contact you for this reason.
I sat down and talked to a person I had never met for just a very short time, and probably several days later, I got, you know, would you please recommend me? You know, and I just went,
I'm sorry.
you know, I went, no, I don't know you. I can't recommend you to my, you know, to the people that I know. So, is that
Pretty good. Any other questions? I wanted to make sure everybody saw that's your outcome-based marketing.